right, so I'm here to talk about Zoho Mail. Specifically, what I want to focus on is how we are reimagining and reinventing the way we look at email and the way we work and manage our email. All right, so the title of my presentation is Reinventing Email. Now, a lot of you agree with some of this articles posted here, and a lot of people have been, in the industry, have been talking about this over the last few days, about the death of email, about how email is going to die in the next few years. And a very famous American writer once said, "Reports of my death have been greatly exaggerated." Well, I'm here to tell you that email is here to stay and is not about to die. As you can see from this little graph here, business email over the next few years is projected to grow exponentially, and personal email is projected to decline over the next few years. So what's happening here? Why is personal email projected to decline? Well, simply put, there has been tremendous evolution in the tools we use for personal communication, starting from pigeon mail to the post box to email to social media. There's been tremendous evolution in the tools we use for personal communication. On the other hand, what's happened with email? Well, the first email was sent in 1971. Since then, absolutely nothing has happened with email. Just let that digest for a minute. That's 44 years ago. Absolutely nothing has changed in email since that day. In the meantime, the social media boom happened. The way we interact with our fellow colleagues, the way we interact with people around the world has changed. Email was initially built for interaction with the external world. Now we interact within teams, within smaller groups, and our interactions have become more real-time, more ad hoc, and more social. But email has failed to keep up with this change. Email is still boring, it's still old, it's still unchanged, and it's still the same software that it was maybe 5 to 10 years ago. It's stagnated. Email hasn't evolved in all these times. So why hasn't it been reinvented? Email is due for reinvention. And why hasn't it been reinvented? From this report from McKinsey, you can see that 42% of the time spent at office is spent managing our email. Now that's a lot of time spent managing email. How unproductive is that? How much more time could we save? How much more productive can we be if we didn't have to manage so much email? So the conclusion from that is email has to become more social. How does it become more social? Well, I'll show you in a few minutes. So email plus social is equal to the new Zoho Mail. Now, this is something that I'm really excited to show you guys. We did a soft launch of this in India a few weeks ago of the new Zoho Mail. And some of the feedback that we're getting has been really exciting and really encouraging for us. So this is the first time that we are actually showing the new Zoho Mail to... So to show you the new Zoho Mail, I'd like to show you a very short video. So that is the new Zoho Mail. Now, you might have noticed in that video, there are 4 main features that we're going to focus on. The first is called email sharing. The second, folder sharing. Third, attachments, or how we deal with files in our email. And the fourth is the integration between tasks, calendar, and email. So to show you these 4 features in a little more detail, I'd like to jump into a quick demo of these features. Okay, so this is the new Mail UI. Before I begin, I just want to quickly show you where or what some of the things that we use in our email are. Most of this should look familiar to you guys. What you see here on the left is a list of my folders. If I keep scrolling down, you'll see a list of tags or labels that I've created in my account. And further to the left are the apps that I'm talking about, which are all tightly integrated into email. The top is your email, then you have your calendar, tasks, plus notes. Now, in a few minutes, I'll show you how tightly or how well all of these apps are integrated together with your email. Now, you might have noticed here on the top right, there are some new icons that you've probably never seen before. The first is called Streams. I'll jump into that in a minute or so about what Streams is and how you use Streams. The second is Attachments or Files. The third is a new notification hub where you get all your notifications, and then you have your settings and your help. And on the right-hand side, we have tabs. So what are tabs? Well, say I'm in my inbox. Here I am in my marketing folder, and I want to open an email in a new tab. I just right-click on that email and do Open in Tab, and it will be here on the right-hand side of my tab. So I always can jump back to my email. Say I'm composing a new email, and there it is in my tab. And if I want to go back to my inbox to find some information that's buried in there, I can just go back to my email quickly, come back to my composition. It's a really easy and quick way to jump between different tabs in your email. Okay, so the first feature that I want to talk about is called email sharing. Now, you might notice in this folder here, I have a lot of conversations bundled together. You see these little numbers next to each of these emails, 3. So I have 3 emails in this conversation. I have 8 emails in a conversation. Now, if you want to share a conversation with someone, the way to do it now is to simply forward that conversation to them. I would forward this conversation to someone else, and they would have to look through 8 different emails within that conversation to get some understanding of what is going on. But that's unproductive. That's not a great way to do it. So the new way to do it is just share this conversation. I'll show you what that means. For instance, if I open up this email, and I want to share this conversation with someone, you can see 2 new comment threads right under that email. So how does this work? Very simply. I will write a comment here, tag, say, one of my colleagues, Abby Jennings, and say, can you please take a look at this? And I will post it. Why is this beneficial? Well, I'm not forwarding this email to her, so I don't have to click on another action, click forward and send it to her. I'm not cluttering up her inbox with another new email. Instead, I'm just sharing this email to her, and she can see all the emails in that thread contextually. And then she can also reply to that thread whenever she gets a chance. So we have 2 separate conversations going on in the same email. We have the email thread plus a contextual comments thread going on under that email. Okay? And similarly for any of these, for instance, here's a contract that I received that maybe my boss or someone would find useful to read this contract. So I can just, again, tag someone in this, maybe tag Eduardo and say, hey, please take a look at this contract, and post it to Eduardo. So he would get a notification here saying, I have shared an email with him. He'd open up that email, and he would see. In fact, look, there you go. I've got a notification. So Abby Jennings has replied to one of my emails, and she says, looks good to me. So now she gets a contextual collaboration or contextual comments under an email. And if I want to continue this conversation, say, want to move out of my mail inbox and continue this conversation elsewhere, I can just go into my Streams folder, go into my posts, and here it is. Here is all my conversations that I've started across an email or across certain tasks are all there right in the Streams wall over here. And to the left, you'll notice some other groups, smaller groups that I've created within Streams. So this is your social media style interactions within your email. So the second feature that I'd like to show you about is how your calendar, tasks, and notes are tightly integrated with your email. So coming back to this email again about the contract. Now, this email says I need to get back to them by Friday. So that's probably something that I want to create a task for. So there are 3 ways now that I can create a task from your email. And you'll notice that at no point will I actually ever go into my task app. I will do all this right from within email. So the first way to do it is by just highlighting some text. So when I highlight some text, you'll see 3 options pop up. The first is to create a note, the second to create a task, and the third to create an event. So if I want to create a task, I'll just click Create Task, and there you go. I can add a task, I can add an owner. For instance, I can say Contract Review and tag Abby to that task again. And if I'd like to, I can create a subtask, I can create a reminder, I can also set a priority for the task, high, medium, or low, and where should this task go? Should it go under My Task? Should it go under the task for a certain group? I can set all that here and just click Save, and the task will be created. So I can do all this right from my inbox without ever going into my task app. Another way to do it is by clicking this drop down here and saying Add to Task, or my personal favorite is for my I'll close this email, and here is my email listing. Now, if I want to quickly create a task from here, I'll just right-click on an email and just do Add as Task. And everything will be set for you. All you have to do is decide on your due date and decide what group you want to put it on. I'll say My Task. I don't need to be reminded about it. I'll set a priority for it, high, save. And that's it. The task has been created. So now, just to show you that how this task looks in the task app, I'll just quickly go into the task app. And right here is the task that I've created. So now, contextually, if you are in this task app and you want to see the email that is linked to this task, you can just click on this email icon here to the right, and it'll open up the email from which you've created the task. So really tight, really cool integration between email, task. You never have to leave your email inbox to create a task, a note, or a calendar. And the same thing that I did here for tasks, you can do the same thing to create a note and to create a calendar. And the third feature that I'd like to show you is attachments or files. Now, I'm sure a lot of you receive a lot of attachments every day. I personally receive about 100 emails a day and maybe 50 attachments every day. So that's a lot of files. So up to now, anytime I wanted to search for an attachment, I would have to search for an email with that attachment. But with the new attachment viewer, I now search for an attachment as opposed to searching for an email. Let me show you how that works. So here on the top right is my attachment viewer. I open it up, and the first thing you'll notice is that everything is visual. I'm no longer looking at small little paper clips. I'm looking at an actual image or an actual document. And everything is automatically categorized for you into images, documents, media files, compressed or zip files, and other files. Automatically categorized. So now what I'm looking for here is an image. So I'll go to this filter up here, and I will filter by image, because I don't need to search for documents or other files. So I'll just do image, click filter, and I will see only images that I've received as attachments automatically stored in this attachment viewer. Now, if I want to find out more about this attachment, so this third attachment here is starred. As you can see the star up there. So I want to know why I've started. What's the big deal about this attachment? I open it up, and you'll notice a lot of different options down below here. A lot of different options down there. So what are these options? Well, the first option is called Open Linked Mail. I want to see, why did I receive this attachment? Who sent it to me? What is this attachment? What email is this attachment associated to? So I do that, and I see, well, someone has sent me an email with a lot of stunning places that I must visit. So that's why they've sent me this email. That's why this attachment is here. Okay, so now I'll go back to this attachment, and now maybe I want to send this attachment to someone else. I want to compose a new email from here. Well, I can do just that, compose an email, and you'll notice that the attachment is already attached to the file. So again, everything you can do from the attachment viewer. Now, suppose you want to download this attachment. You can just download it, or you can upload it to one of your favorite cloud services, like Zoho Docs, for instance. Zoho Docs, Google Drive, Dropbox, OneDrive. Just log into your, if you're a Zoho user, you're already logged into your Zoho Docs account. So just log into your Drive account, Dropbox, OneDrive, and just upload this file to anywhere. So that's the attachment viewer. Now, the last feature that I want to show you for today is the folder sharing viewer. Now, I've been talking for some time, so for this feature, I'd like one of my colleagues to show you what this feature is all about.
Hi, I'm from Zoho Mail, and I'm here to brief you on a new feature we've developed called the folder sharing. We all know how tedious it could be to forward multiple emails to someone within your organization. And with this new feature, you'll be able to share an entire folder with a lot of mails to anybody within the organization. You can also set permissions to read or delegate. Read simply meaning FYI, you're giving permission to view the mails, and delegate meaning permission to send mails on your behalf. So move forward and share with care.
Okay, so what my colleague Arun was talking about is something called folder sharing. So this is particularly useful if, say, for instance, you're going away for a week and you're not going to have access to your email and you want to delegate some emails to some people, like someone you work with, and you can just right-click on a folder, click Share Folder, again, enter someone, so I'm going to do Abby again, and I have two options, read or write. Now, read just shares that folder with them so they get new emails in that folder and they can just read that email. As Arun said, it's more like an FYI folder. You're just keeping them in the loop. But what is write? Write allows you to delegate emails within that folder to people. So if I say allow delegation and choose an email, I'm going to say pboyle@zoho.com. This means that I'm sharing this folder to Abby and delegating all the emails to Abby. So when Abby receives a new email, she can reply either as Abby Jennings or she can reply as me, Patricia Boyle, whatever works for her. So it's a really cool way to share folders, share the load with people. Say, for instance, you receive an RFP that requires only your permission before it gets approved. You can delegate this email or delegate this folder to someone else, and they can reply on your behalf. So that is the new Zoho Mail. So thank you guys so much.